everyone, and welcome back to AustinPlus Commentary, where today we are finally doing a review on another TV series called Squid Game Season 3, the final season to conclude the Squid Game saga. Or is it? Squid Game Season 2 premiered in December of last year, and then 6 months later, Season 3 came around with 6 episodes, I believe, and it basically broke the internet. And there was no happy ending, shall we all say. But there were obviously, as always, best characters, best moments, and let's talk about the chances of potential spin-offs. I think this goes without saying, but my favourite character of all time was obviously Gi-hun. He's the whole idea of being a, there's a hero, there's a heroine, there's a villain, but the heroine is supposed to defeat the villain. There were no winners or losers in this at all. There was no villains. There was no, happy ending or anything. It was just, I don't know what it was. But Gi-hun, I think, was the perfect example of how that story doesn't always pan out. His character, but also his characters are very aggressive. He experiences every sort of emotion you can really think of. But also, you have to think about how he progressed between season 1, 2, and 3. Between season 1, he was just like a standard guy that wanted to make more money, and then found out that it was all like a way to die, and he was just that standard guy that went through the whole games. But season 2, he tried helping people. I think this is one thing that people find weird, is that season 2 and season 3 are the same game. People tend to forget that. I get it. I get why people don't understand that. But yeah, it is the same Squid Game. But like, there's so much going on between season 2 and season 3. Like, you forget that, and it's just so action packed. My second favorite character is number 22. I don't want to say the name in case I get it wrong. But number 22 I liked her character because she was very kind-hearted. She found her way to even be nice in such a bad situation. Also, she was in such a bad situation, and the only person she was really not nice to was the person that was boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, whatever. And I think that sort of set the tone for her like character. And as soon as they said that she was pregnant, I knew for a fact she was going to be she was going to have it in the Squid Game, which eventually did happen. But she was also very kind-hearted, and I also don't think I think the way she died was so unfortunate. It was I'm surprised she didn't make it, and Min-soo, he also had a very depressing death, but like, I'm surprised Min-soo didn't died as well. I think that was 125. I'm not too sure. My third favorite character, and I know this is going to be weird, it's the baby. The baby was adorable. Because there was not a single character in this season that you like, you really feel for them. The only other person I can really think about is Min-soo, or number 125. It's the only person I can really think of. But I like the baby because of the plot line it had. How everyone was, the fact that everyone was willing to kill that child. I was just like, yeah, no one's doing that. No, not on my watch. But yeah, they didn't. I think the fact that she won as well was like also nice, but Gi-hun took the kid as if it was his own and tried to help the kid across. But Gi-hun made sure that the baby was basically its whole world and made sure it had a life. So I think all three of these characters definitely linked together in such a magical way, if you get what I mean.
What?
Now, when I say there are best moments in the show, I mean there are moments that I think were the most impactful. There was no good moment in this show, I will say. Number 1 is the fact that number 22 or 122 was able to still give birth to a wonderful child in such a very shitty situation. And I think that's kind of why I also like them two characters more. The boyfriend was an absolute just dick. They were together, like the baby and the mum were all together throughout the whole time, and it was very wholesome. Hang on, weren't there two characters that were mother and son that didn't. Remembering how this show ends, that was a very bad and poor taste joke. Which also brings me to my next point. I think both the son's death, Seven, and the mother's death were the two just, oh my god. I didn't see the son dying, and I didn't think it would be the mother to kill him. Honestly, that was out of left field. See, I understand the situation that she was in. I understand it from both sides, but it was just that was not the way I thought it was gonna go. But it was the way. It was so unfortunate how that happened. But then she wrote a letter and then ended up, which I obviously can't say on YouTube, but I also can't show an image. So the images shown are just in reference. But what happened to the mother, I think, was very unfortunate. But thirdly, and I think this is actually such a good comparison, and this does actually set up a spin-off that was said for like a while. But this scene shows the front man showing to be the last contestant, like Gi-hun, to be like being interviewed by their front man, which as we know was like number 1 from season 1, or the guy that runs the whole thing. He was the person that was the front man to the new front man, if that makes sense. But I like how they compare this scene to the whole like old scene to the new one, and to like from the front man telling this current front man, then that current front man talking to Gi-hun. I think that was a very good comparison, but it also sets up a spin-off, and this shows not everyone is the same, but everyone in the Squid Game who works there thinks that everyone is functions the same or thinks the same. But Gi-hun obviously proves everyone right, especially with the ending. My last, I keep on saying favorite moment because that's what I do in all the other like reviews. This is not a favorite moment. These were all pretty much depressing. But the other like best moment or most impactful was the jump rope scene. Now everyone was speculating what it would be. It kind of made sense if it was jump rope. I mean, I don't really think there could have been much left. Hide and seek, jump rope. Now, for those who don't know, this season hinted a lot at the reason I bring this up now is, yes, it was a weird scene, because I actually saw this behind the scenes. They recorded it, sent it out, and then a couple weeks later, after this season had been released, they showed how they did it behind the scenes. This must have been so hard to do. So you have to time it just right, even though there is no jump rope. That must have been really hard to do. But the reason I think these actually make a lot more sense is because, especially with this season, it sets up a potential or like an actual spin-off that has been confirmed called Squid Game USA. The Squid Game USA is said to be released next year. It hasn't even been filmed, so I highly doubt this, but it is said that it is going to release next year. Now, the games that were shown in this, such as hide and seek, jump rope, and then like jumping on pillars, that one's definitely like Squid Game. It's the falling Squid Game. But like those are American-based like childhood games, which is what the Squid Game is based on. So that is a setup that the actual director for Squid Game season 2, all of season Squid Game, is actually trying to get to do. I think that's actually a really good shout, if I'm being honest. Spin-offs are definitely going to happen for the Squid Game. Squid Game was way too big for it not to have spin-offs, but also spin-offs do actually do well in terms of Netflix. So I'm all for Squid Game spin-offs in different like regions, different stories. I would like to see a spin-off of the old like ones where the front man was actually a contestant. I would like to see that. But overall, this season was amazing. I think the whole impact, it was very impactful. I managed to watch this in about 2 days after I managed to be able to see it. I watched this 2 days after it was released. And I'm so sorry I'm getting to this now, but I did plan to do this video with someone else, but I couldn't. So I do apologize for that. The ending is, I think, the most important part of this whole show, especially with how the game ended. It was very when they did an interview of season 3, like when with the main actors, they said there is no such thing as happy endings, and this show proves it. This show did not have a happy ending. It had an ending that I'm happy with, but it was not a happy one. But it's the end for those people, but there is always going to be new contestants, which was shown by the very end scene, where there is more people playing Duck G in different regions. I think the Squid Game universe is not done with, but I think Squid Game for that is. But without further ado, everyone, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and comment what else you would like to see on the channel. And without further ado, hope you have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!
Yeah!